Welcome to the Sharpe Show. So happy to have you with me this evening, a little bit past 7 p.m. on the East Coast. Yes, I made it again. It is a Tuesday, and I wasn't sure what I would do this show on. And then I decided I should probably pay attention because I have been getting a lot of people reaching out to me based upon this America Party, based upon Elon Musk and him deciding his third party. I've had people DM me, people talk to me on my show, people call me up. A lot of people like, what's your opinion on this? What do you think about that? All those things. And I thought, you know what? Why don't I just do a show on that? That kind of makes sense because people seem to care. And if you care about the American Party or what might or might not happen with him and Elon Musk, then you should click the button known as Lima India Kilo Echo. You should do that right now. That would be the thing to do if you do care about that. And if you also want other people to know about that, assuming you're not selfish. Are you selfish? Don't be selfish. You should then share this someplace or repost this someplace right now. If you could do that, that would be awesome. If you haven't followed me on all my other things, it's because you're double selfish. Don't be double selfish. Being selfish is bad enough. Double selfish is terrible. Don't be that. So follow me on Facebook, X, and of course, Rumble. All of those things. Trying to get Rumble up and running. Rumble can be tough because a lot of not many people are on it, obviously, but you know, I don't need enough baby talk. I will be in Rumble tomorrow, by the way, 11 a.m. Eastern live on a Liberty Dad show. So if you have a chance, if you happen to be on Rumble tomorrow, 11 a.m., I'll be posting it on my social media later on this evening, and it'll be on tomorrow morning, 11 a.m., talking about this type of stuff too. So we're all talking about this kind of stuff. This is the new cool thing that all the cool kids are talking about. So you get to hang out with the cool kids. See that? Not too shabby. Patty's in the house. Patty, I did a whole show based upon what you wanted yesterday. I don't know if you saw it, but literally you spurred yesterday's show. So if people don't like it, they can blame Patty. It's her fault. If they like it, I take credit. Okay, yeah. So if it's bad, we're going to blame Patty. If you like it, it's all me. So just as long as we know where my responsibility or lack thereof goes, now you know. So I want to actually give some good credit to this. And this is credit actually to CNN. I know you're saying CNN. I'm not joking. I'm going to give some credit to CNN. CNN actually has had a decent piece on this. Actually, a decent piece with some people who kind of had an idea of what was happening. And this is a piece from CNN. And again, credit where credit is due. Once in a while, they do have something worthwhile. They do. So credit where credit is due.
New fallout in the very public feud between Elon Musk and President Trump. The tech billionaire is now making good on his threat to start a new political party after Trump's massive spending bill becomes law. Trump announced his America Party over the weekend, writing in part, Musk, announces America.
In her eyes, are the same.
A party writing in part, when it comes to bankrupting our country with waste, we live in a one-party system, not a democracy. Trump lashed out on Truth Social, accusing his ex-bestie of going, quote, completely off the rails and becoming a, quote, train wreck.
Everything is crazy when it's not you.
Musk hit back by writing, what's Truth Social?
Oh, a little bit of shade. A little bit of shade, huh,
So
Elon?
things have turned bad again for these two yet again. How worried are you about an Elon Musk political party?
Well, you know, Abby, I think it'd be easier for Elon Musk to figure out how to get to Mars than it would be to start a new political party.
Now, the piece that I like is that he's actually honest about it. Now, there's a part of the third party people who really bother me. It's a personal issue. Is when people complain about how things are bad or they're unhappy or whatever, things don't work well. And then the second you mention their party, they just like, it never work. Stupid. Blah, blah, blah. They immediately go to that. That bothers me. Not that I live in some fantasy world where third parties take over the world. I get it. But the dismissiveness is the reason why we can't get it fixed. This guy is dismissive, but he explains why. I do too. I don't just go, third parties can't win. I don't do that. If you're doing that and you're not complaining, then fine. No worries. If you happen to two-party system, you don't have a problem with it. You like the way things are going. I get it. No worries. But if you're sitting there going, this sucks, the system's broken, things aren't working, I'm not happy, and then you just diss third parties, you're part of the problem. Now, again, I'm not saying all of a sudden tomorrow third party is going to win and change that. I'm not saying that. The system is broken, and we have to move to fix the system so we can have other voices, and so third parties can make impact, whether they win or lose, but can make impact. And when people just go, "No, never work," now it never gets changed. You reinforce the crappy system. You are building your own prison, and you're mad.
It's the ballot rules in states are very complicated. This is yet another issue that's decided at the states. Whether your party can be on the ballot is subject to 50 different state laws.
True.
They're very complicated. In some places, they're dependent on what you did in the previous election, running as an independent to get on the ballot for a future race.
CNN, given actual information, not just Trump bad. Well done. CNN, please keep doing this. Don't fall back to just Trump bad every 5 seconds. Now, I know you're still going to say Trump bad. I got it. You're not going to change overnight. I got it. I'm not even mad at you for that. But more of this and less Orange Man bad. You can still do some Orange Man bad. I know you love that. You don't have to stop it. But just a lot more of here's actual information that has value.
To be a viable party, you'd have to run for all offices. You'd have to run candidates for Congress, for Senate, for governor.
Now, that's not 100% true, right? You're saying a viable party, meaning a match for the Democrats and Republicans. True, but realistically, again, I love it. I wish third parties were amazing. That'd be great. But in any short term, the odds of one of the third parties becoming a major, factor are slim. But can they make impact at local levels? Yes. Can they change what Democrats and Republicans do? Yes. And again, my most recent examples are RFK Jr. RFK Jr. ran as an independent. He affected Trump's campaign. Third parties should be able to do that. And if we just dismiss them, they won't. If we actually try to support them, they can and should. You don't have to. Look, would it be great if we ran at every level? Yes, of course, that'd be amazing. I love that. Not required. We can win at local levels. We can make influence at state levels. Absolutely.
And Elon Musk has a lot of money, and he's devoted a lot of money to politics.
True.
But if he starts a political party, there is a limit to what he can put in under federal election rules.
Now, that's not true. I mean, there is a limit that he can put in, but he just pack it up and do PACs and stuff. So that part's not true. He can put all his money in. There's a limit to what he can give Trump. He got past that one. So, yeah.
To that political party. So this is a very big undertaking, and I think
Davis says it. Elon Musk American Party could work. True. It depends on the candidate that the American Party puts forward. George Wallace picked up electoral votes 68. Yep. And Jesse Ventura was elected governor of Minnesota. Accurate. Depends on what you're trying to achieve, Dave. You've hit it perfectly. If they're trying to become the next Republican Democratic Party, okay, that's big. Could it happen? I mean, it could, but yes, that's a massive task. Could they say win a governorship? Yeah, happened. Could they win a mayor? It just happened in Syracuse, right? In New York State, happened in Syracuse last cycle. It could happen, right? Locally, you can get impact and you can move the needle. It can be done. The question that I'm unsure of, and this is a big issue I want to bring up here, is what's the goal of this party, right? Is it to become like a real third party where now there's three choices? I mean, that's a lot. Or is it to make impact?
I think he's probably blowing off steam.
Well, I am old enough to remember No Labels. Yeah. Do we not remember No Labels?
Old enough to remember. That was like last year. So you're 8? Wow, okay. It was last year was No Labels.
And they did successfully get on quite a lot of ballots.
No, they didn't. Stop. No. Okay. You are the moderator here, and this is a world you do not know. No shade. You're the moderator. You don't have to know everything, not required. But when you don't know, you probably shouldn't talk. You should ask more questions. That's what good moderators do when they don't know.
Yes. And they did so largely because they had secret donors.
Okay, none of that's true. We all know who they were. They just, yeah, go. They're all utterly wrong. None of that's
bankrolling the whole thing. It does take a ton of money, and he just.
But I thought Homeboy just said you limited how much money. Thank you. You can't. None of this is true.
Has that. So I mean, I would say this is not nothing, right?
No, Well, I think there's two different things we're talking about. We're talking about midterms and we're talking about presidentials. Because so No Labels was the presidential race. And so they were able to get on ballots. And the fear was really on the Democratic side that that would split the party. So
now that's the second issue also. How does Elon Musk decide to market this party? Is he going to market it as, hey, are you a pissed off Republican who doesn't like Trump? Vote for me. Is he going to say, hey, Democrats are broken. I used to be a Democrat. Come vote for me. Is he going to do that? How does he market this thing? That's the critical aspect. Not just that, who's going to be the face of it, right? The face of Forward for a long time was Andrew Yang. It kind of still is, I don't know what it is right now. It's kind of both, right? Who's going to be the face of it? Is the face going to be Elon Musk? Is it going to be like, I'm a tech bro party? Is that what it is? This is a piece that really matters tremendously. This could be a boon for either Republicans or Democrats, right? So it depends on how does he do it. Or is he just going to say, I want my small chunk of what, 3-4% that love Elon Musk and want to vote for him? Is that what he's going to just, I'm the 3% party, which would work only in very specific races. But again, if your goal is just those races, great. But even that, is that pulling more Republicans, Democrats? I'm not sure it's clear.
This was 2028. I think you would be more concerned. I do think, though, the amount of money that Elon Musk has that just can throw around, that is not just like backing a candidate, that can just be disruptive. And it seems like elections are so close in these days.
Okay, most elections are not close. You're a policy advisor. That's no such thing. They don't have policy advisors. She's somebody. The vast majority of elections are not super close. The vast majority are completely outgunned, completely gerrymandered. So that's absolutely not true. They're like, yeah, they're so close. No, they aren't. Where I live, the Republicans don't even run a candidate. When Zohran Mamdani won the general election, he won 99-1. I'm not joking, because no one ran against him. So 1% was write-ins. He won 99-1. That's Kim Jong-un numbers. Stalin would be jealous of those numbers. Stalin like, what? You got them numbers? How'd you get them numbers? Saddam Hussein wants those numbers. Well, he's gone, but he would have wanted those numbers. That's the numbers Mamdani gets. And she's like, it's so close. 99-1.
Is that
the last guy when they ran a candidate, I mean, that's no candidate. But when the Republicans ran a candidate, about 12 years ago, they ran a candidate. I forgot. I don't even know who the hell it was. So it's like 12 years they ran a candidate, and he lost by 70 points. Not 17. 7-0. 85-15. See what I'm saying? That's Putin numbers right there. That's Putin numbers happening here in New York City. So close.
1 point could be a determining factor, and he has enough money to shave off 1 point. So
okay, that part's right. He could shave off a couple points. I think that's accurate, right? Elon Musk, with his party and his cash, could shave off a point or two. But the problem is most elections aren't that close. If you find the right election, could he affect that election? Sure, it's possible.
So I wouldn't just totally poo-poo it. I don't think that, as Deborah Cox says, how did we get here? Like, I think the breakup is final. I don't think they're coming back together.
No reconciliation.
I really don't. I don't think that they're going to be able to get beyond.
Well, here's the reality. I'm not sure she's right on that. And here's the reason why. Trump, as I say all the time, is transactional. He is transactional. If he thought that he could make some kind of deal with Elon, I don't know if it's possible. I'm not saying I have any inside knowledge. I have none. I'm not saying Elon has anything. I'm not saying that. But I am saying Trump is transactional. If he thought there was a way of get something out of Elon, he'd make a deal. You saw him with North Korea. You'll see it with Iran. Trump is transactional. He wants what he wants. That's it. If Elon could get him what he wants, he cut a deal. There's no doubt he would.
On this. And I think it could play a part, not up and down the ballot, but in some key targeted, just to get under Trump's skin.
I mean, Trump later, he also sent another Truth Social saying, talking about Elon's friend who he wanted to run at NASA. He said he thought his friend was very good. I was surprised to learn he was a blue-blooded Democrat who had never contributed to a Republican. He said, I also thought it was inappropriate that a very close friend of Elon who was in the space business will run NASA when NASA.
Now, he knew that before. Trump does what he always does. I like Elon. It's fine. I don't like Elon. It's bad.
This is such a big part of Elon's corporate life, which is funny because people had asked Trump about this very thing several months ago, and he was like, no, not a problem. Don't worry about it.
I like Elon, so it's
I was
okay.
at Kennedy Space Center last week, and I saw one of Elon's rockets get shot in space, and I was like, it was very cool, by the way. I highly recommend seeing it. And 3 days later, this guy's announcing a new political party. I'm like, dude, why don't you just stick with what you're good at? Like, I just saw that on Twitter. Like,
But
stick
again,
with what
this
you're
is sort of like Trump, because I remember, we would always talk about this, and Republicans would be like, yeah, let's put Elon in charge of flying planes. Like, let's put Elon in charge of every part of the federal government. And now all of a sudden, he's
herself as a
crazy.
Republican.
Well, I do think he has gone a little off the rails. I don't think there's any doubt, given his tweet storm or X storm or whatever you want to call it.
Now we go back to our normal stuff in CNN. I just want to share that piece. They actually gave you some actual stuff that I thought was relevant to what we're talking about. They were talking about the details of how hard it is and all that kind of good stuff. So that's why I wanted you to see that piece. And CNN gave some actual real information, which was very interesting. I thought you guys would enjoy that piece. Grab a couple comments before I keep moving, if I could. Kim says, I believe it's going to work for something or someone. Very well might not be the people's benefit. That could overlap, Kim, meaning it could mean that Elon gets something that he wants, and it could also help us. Again, how is he going to move this forward? Is he going to say, hey, I'm going to support someone like as he said, he's going to support Thomas Massie? All right. Does that mean the America Party backs him? Is he an America Party endorsement? Is that how that works? Right? I don't know. Right? Is that what he's talking about? That could help out Thomas Massie by getting an endorsement, I guess, and maybe cash, right? Because accordingly, if the party wants to give money, it can give money differently depending upon each state. So maybe I could see that. Maybe. Kim goes on to say it could be it just rattles enough cages to make some changes. Changes could be anything. At this point, I'll take changes we can get. Agreed. Sometimes there's terrible clouds with silver lining. Yes, and yes, I say it often. I say it often. Yes. I was so happy when RFK Jr. got to make changes. I don't like all the changes, but does not matter. The fact that it makes people realize, wait, I can make change. I can get what I want. I don't like RFK stuff, but I like my stuff. I can get my stuff. I think it does. Seeing change, you're completely right, Kim, makes other people think there can be change. Mike Voss is in the house. He says, looks like Larry will deep dive this. I'm going to try to. I say over the next 3 years, it's a pack. If they build infrastructure, likely in 1 or 2 states, 2030 will be the debut of that party long after the hype is gone. There's the hard part, Mike. You bring up a very hard part. How do you keep it going? Right? You see the Forward Party hype. Forward Party first came out, everybody's like, oh my God, this is the thing. Andrew Yang, he's a tech guy, tons of money. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. There was a lot of hype. People talking about it left and right. Now Forward's like a thing. It exists, but the hype, you're right, is gone. How do you keep it, right? And here's the problem. And this is the part that I want to go deep on. Is it possible for this to become a real third party or replace a party? Always possible. But what has to happen for that is what you're talking about. There has to be a massive ideology that Americans want to get behind, or a massive issue that Americans want to get behind. I don't see that. I mean, I like the fact that he's about the debt. That's nice, but are like tens of millions of Americans concerned about the debt? No. Maybe a couple million are, maybe. And are they concerned enough to vote for a party that's all about the debt, which basically equals austerity? Do Americans want austerity? Generally speaking, they don't. It's a very tough thing to do. And again, over 3 years, how do you then maintain that, right? Even people in the infrastructure, how do you maintain the motivation? And Mike, you've been a committeeman before. How do you maintain the motivation in an America Party without either a star up front, a type of cult of personality like a Bernie Sanders or a Donald Trump, or even Obama, some type of cult of personality in some way, or some amazing ideology? You have neither of them? Once the hype is gone, the party's gone, brother. Unless you have one of those other things. I don't see it. Maybe it's there. Look, maybe he's super smart. He's got some super things someplace in his pocket. Awesome. Elon, if you're watching, I'd pull it out now. If you got that cool thing I don't know about, I'd pull it out now. So, Duke of X, thank you for the $5. Pam Bondi says client list never existed. Trump supporters are furious. Libertarians in the American Party should take advantage of it as parties of change. There's the other piece, Duke. In reality, what should Elon actually do if he really wants a party? He should just go to libertarians. And say, libertarians, I have lots of money. You have an ideology and infrastructure. I want to give you lots of money. Just support some of my candidates. And Libertarian Party should say, okay, deal. And now some of you go, but then Libertarian Party is going to sell out. Stop. There's nothing to sell out. Stop. And not just that. Take the money and run good libertarian candidates. Will I have to maybe, I don't know, support some crypto bro here or there? So what? If you can run 6 good libertarians with fully funded campaigns and have to hold your nose for one crypto bro you don't like, shut up and hold your nose. Just don't say anything. Don't even vote for him. Just shut up so he can fund the other 6 who are good libertarians. But of course, libertarians who will scream and yell, you can't do that. We have to be perfect and virtue signal. Elon, if you happen to be watching, please write us big checks. We will happily take your money and run candidates. And I will not say a word when some terrible crypto bro wants to do something like, I don't know, demand we all give him our IP or something. I'll just be quiet. I won't vote for him. But I will not say any. I'll keep my mouth shut. Good luck. Take the libertarian line. Give my other 6 good candidates $1 million. If that means I'm selling out, then I'm selling out. Don't care. I have been through this more than once without cash. I have been through this and set on my principles and see where that got me. So yeah, give me some cash. Just saying. So anyway, let me keep walking on this road here. So to follow up on what Mike says, I can see it becoming a pack. I can. Again, I think the next couple of months is going to show us what's going to happen, because the next couple of months is, who will come on board. Will it just be him writing checks? Will be others writing checks? Will he be able to put stuff together? He's going to have the same problems, Mike, that Forward had, that no labels had. And here's a couple of his problems. Number one, he doesn't have the legal expertise. And so he's going to say, oh, so I'll go to what they always do. All right. If anyone watching is on Elon Musk's team, please hear me on this right now. What Elon is going to want to do, and what his people are going to want to do, is go to some white shoe law firm in DC that does election law. Please don't do that. I know it seems like the right answer. It is absolutely the wrong answer. And it's the wrong answer for several reasons. One, they don't know what they're doing. They don't have to deal with this stuff. They don't deal with this. They deal with like Republicans suing Republicans off a ballot, Democrats suing, trying to attack a Democrat who did something shady. They have no idea how this shit works. They don't. So what will they do? They'll do it because they're savvy, and they'll go, yeah. We'll take a retainer of $250,000. I'm not joking. $250,000, and then we'll give you our our thought process on what you should be doing, which means you're gonna pay us to learn. That's how that works. That's the scam of many lawyers. Yes, that's many lawyers. Pay me to learn. I'm going to be a better lawyer when it's done. Thank you for all the money. And then maybe I'll help you. Maybe I won't, but you're going to pay me to learn. That's what's going to happen. So if Elon, you're going to pay them at least $250,000. And I'm not joking with that number. It could be more, at least $250,000, so they can learn all the states or whatever. They will screw it up because they don't know how to do it. And they don't care because they know it's a one-time shot. They're going to go back to work with Democrats, Republicans. Democrats, Republicans don't want you to win, so they may even sabotage you. I know it's unethical, but true. Doesn't matter. Don't do that. Here's what you do. Grab one local state guy or gal who's done it for either Greens and or Libertarians. Doesn't matter which one. Get one of them and have them go find you other locals in every state, and they create a network of local people who've done it before. It will be half the price, and you'll get it right. This is why the Elon team should be talking to me. I know how to do this. The other guys do not know how to do this. They think they do. They don't. There's the next piece that you're going to deal with, which is, boy, is this a massive grift. And I mean massive grift. The amount of people who are reaching out to Elon right now, oh my God. All they are is like, money. I can go and convince Elon that I know something and he'll give me tons of money. I'm not mad at people for that. Good for you. But Elon and your people realize at least 3/4 of the people who are coming to you, if not 90%, just want cash. They don't care about your movement. They don't care about your party. They're going right back to Democrats, Republicans right after you. They do not care. If anyone says, I have experience working with Democrat, this, Republican, that, throw them out the door. Done. Have a nice day. They don't need you. If they haven't worked with Libertarians, Greens, or Constitution Party, or maybe no labels and forward, depending upon what they've been doing, if they haven't worked with their parties, you don't need them. They are just grifters. If you're listening, they're grifters. Walk away. They're not going to help you. In fact, they're probably, to be very forward with you, there's a chunk of them who are just literally infiltrators, who are trying to get into good graces. They've screwed up in Democrat. This is something you guys don't know. There are people who screw up in Democrat, Republican Party circles. They're so incompetent, they've screwed up. No one wants to use them anymore. So what do? They become infiltrators someplace else and pretend that they care about you, but they don't. Then they screw you over so they can go back to those people again. See, I was loyal the whole time. I screwed this other guy over for you. I'm not making this up. Again, Mike knows he's been a committeeman. That's the real thing. So yes, I'm gonna grab a couple more of these if I could. To go back, thank you for the $5. People are tired of the uniparty BS. Yep. Lies after lies. Now's the time when their support is at an all-time low to finish those corrupt parties. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's absolutely true. Absolutely. So, all right. Dave, thank you for the $10. I think the list exists. MAGA will use the list to go after rhinos and their donors in the primaries and go after Democrats and their donors in the general, a la October surprise. Here is what I think. To be forward, do I think there's an actual like EpiPen? I don't want to say, oh God, that's it. I'm demonetized. All right. Dave, thank you for you doing the list. I appreciate it. And I screwed up and used the It's EpiPen. EpiPen is what I meant. The EpiPen list, don't demonetize me, YouTube. He doesn't like, here are the people and the people who I gave them. I'm sure that doesn't exist as like a sheet he wrote up, like a Excel, I'm sure. But all the data they got, there's a list. It wasn't made by him, I'm sure, right? I hope he wasn't that crazy. But I'm sure all the people who've seen all the documents can easily make one or have already made one. I would think they would keep it quiet so they could blackmail people. That's what I would think. That's what I would think. But I could see October surprise. I could see it. I could. I could see October surprise, but I'm not sure. All right. Speaking of politics and third parties that everybody's bringing up, here's what I want you to think about. Do you think that you yourself, that you should be a libertarian, that you should be a Republican or whatever the case may be? Well, there's a way you can figure that out. Yes, it's the advocates. Absolutely, advocates for self-government. You actually can, if you want to, what you can do is you can head over to theadvocates.org, or what I would prefer you do is I prefer you use the link that's actually in the show description. Head on over there and take the world's smallest political quiz. It is that simple. Take the world's smallest political quiz. It's free. Just go over there, click this one right here. It's a 2025 version, which is the coolest version of all the versions. Take that one, head on down and answer these simple questions. There's only like 6 of them total. Well, I'm exaggerating. There's like 10. Fine. Like between 6 and 10 plus bonus ones. It's the shortest one ever. You will not see a shorter political quiz. And if you do, they're liars. This is the shortest political quiz. Take this quiz, calculate your results. And when you do, they will ask you for your email address. If you want to give it to them, please do so. They will give you an email probably once every couple of weeks. It'll be libertarian cool stuff. And that means it's good because libertarian. And if you don't want to click the X, you'll still get your data anyway. You'll get your information anyway, what you did. And then do me a favor, share it out share it on YouTube, share it on X, share it on Facebook, share it. Please share your results so that people can see it. Why? The more people who take this quiz, the more people will see where they are. You might go, Larry, I've heard this before. Larry, this quiz, I'm sure they're scamming like all the quiz, so you always come out libertarian. No, not true. The number one, and they show you, by the way, when you do it, they show you the percentage of everyone who's taking this test in perpetuity. The most common outcome, believe it or not, is moderate. That's the most, and it's right there to show you the most comments moderate. And luckily for us, and this is a little scary though, luckily for us, authoritarian is the smallest. However, over the past couple of years, authoritarian has actually increased. It has. It's still small, but it's got bigger. It's gotten bigger. Ooh, that's not good. I'm not happy about that. In fact, I remember when many libertarians, when we go out and do like shows. When we go out and we do fairs and such, we'll bring this world's smallest political quiz for people to take. And when people come authoritarian, they're not surprised. They don't go, wow, I'm authoritarian. They go, no, I'm authoritarian. That makes sense. And I'm like, damn, okay. That's how it's happening now. So this quiz is very interesting. Please take it, share it amongst your friends, have conversations. They're a show sponsor. I am so happy that they're with us making this happen. When you have a moment, click the link that is in the description in Rumble, same description in Facebook, same description on YouTube. Do me a favor, take it that way from that link so they know it came from me. So thank you for that, guys. I do appreciate it. All right, I'm grab a couple more comments if I could. I have so many of them. I want to keep going. And as I said, Patty is here. I'm glad she is here. And now she's here. We can blame her if you didn't like that show yesterday. So anyway. All right, let's see if I can go down here. All righty. Genjin says, when I see a question as a headline, I believe the answer is no most of the time. Or Genjin, I'm clickbaiting you. One of those two. I mean, it's probably clickbaiting. Or it's no. Or I'm clickbaiting. Either one. Yes. There we go. All righty. Also, Patty did see it last night. Thank you. I'm glad you did, Patty. It was there for you. I'm glad you enjoyed. Absolutely. All right, let me walk down this road a couple more. All right, Gene says he's right about the difficulty of starting a new political party. Duopoly made sure of that. Yes, absolutely true. 100% true. That is an issue, but you can move forward. It is possible. It absolutely is possible. It's just super, super challenging. So yeah. All righty. Michael says CNN is evil, period. I don't care what nice story they reported with actual information. I remember Iraq. You're not wrong. But they still are powerful. And I would like them to at least try to be better, but you're not wrong. Rick, if you remember, no labels is no nothing. True. All the things you just said are absolutely true. All right. I want to walk down a little bit more of this, what I was sharing you, and I have a couple more I want to bring up real fast to give you a bit more details on this piece. All right.
Me as a Republican, I'm not worried. I mean, if you look at the Republican Party, they're more unified than they've been in decades right now. So if you're a Republican, it's not.
That's not true. If you're a Republican, they're more unified than ever. That's not true. That's not true. No. The Republicans are probably most unified under Reagan. That's not true. And after 9/11, Bush. After 9/11, Republicans were lockstep. After 9/11 and Reagan. They're not lockstep. I mean, don't get me wrong. Republicans do love Trump. That's true. Republican Party does love Trump. That's accurate. But look at what Bannon's doing. Look what Elon Musk is doing. Look at what RFK Jr. is doing. That's propaganda. That they're not. They're not. That's not true. They've definitely been more in lockstep.
Not something I'm overly concerned about. If he wants to go off and do it, I'm sure there are plenty of political grifters that will love to sign on and make a ton of money off of that.
True.
They're telling him he's a genius right now for doing
Yep.
it, so they can make a ton of money. If he wants to go do it,
I mean, you're not wrong.
Not wrong.
Our friend Harry Unton pulled this number for us. 4% of all voters.
There we go.
This is Elon's potential base. They like Elon, but they don't like the Republican Party. That's
now 4%. All right. Assuming that he means 4% would actually vote for him or his party, that means he could poll at 8%. Generally speaking, third parties get half of what they poll at. So that means some people will be like, yeah, I love Elon. But then when the time comes, I'm going to vote Republican or Democrat. So let's assume that's true. Let's assume that Harrington's pretty smart and he's usually right. So let's assume for the moment that this is an accurate number. Again, don't know, assume it's an accurate number. 4%, again, my point, specific races. Without those specific races, 4%. I mean, if you're, I don't know, running for, I don't know, governor of Oklahoma and it's Republican versus Democrat, do you care about 4%? You don't care. Republicans winning, right? If you're, I don't know, if you're Zoran Mamdani getting 99-1. Do you care if you lose 94-6? I mean, no, right? So it's specific races, yes, and that's the point.
Just for the record, that's a very small number.
Look at
It's not a lot
fight
of
he had with the president. We know who won that fight. It was very clear. The president came out on top.
Some years ago, a Texan named Ross Perot decided to start his own party.
And
Third
did
parties,
very well.
Yeah, did well.
18%.
18%. So look,
And let's be clear, he does have a point. This guy has a point. The right third party could make real impact. It does happen. But the point being, you have to have the right front person. Ross Perot was that right front person, right? Ross Perot could pull 18%, right? It's possible. RFK Jr. at his height was polling at 19%. Again, polling at 19% means if I would have got half of that, right? So say 9%. So at his height, RFK Jr. probably could have got 9%, assuming that the election was, on that day that he was doing that, right? He probably could have about 9%. But overall, he probably got about 5%, probably about as much as, probably a bit more than Elon is what he probably would have gotten if he had stayed in. Again, not chump change, but not amazing. But could it affect the election? Yes, it could. 19%? Yes, could absolutely affect an election.
Third parties, the history of third parties on the modern politics, it's difficult to go in. Either you're a Democrat or Republican. He does have a lot of money. Question is, where will those voters that go with that party go? When races are tight, 1 or 2% can make a big difference. And the question is this more directed at midterms for members of Congress or senators, or more directed at presidential race? But
presidential race, I mean, the best he can hope for, at the moment, right? Things could change. You never know. Best he can hope for is one of two things. You do an RFK, you run hard, you get a bunch of percentages, you have an issue that you care about, whatever that issue is, whether it's the debt or, I don't know, cryptocurrency, I don't know, whatever Elon cares about. And then you get whoever to, you drop out and join them, and then you get to be able to do your thing, right? That would be one option he could maybe get. Tough for him to get that, though, again, because he's already had the Doge thing. It has to be somebody else. It can't be him. Another thing is you get 5% in the presidential election, and then your party qualifies for matching funds, drawing in more talent that would come in 2032 to be a real threat in 2032. And that's it. It goes back to Mike's point. Can you keep that momentum from now to 2032? I mean, that's what, 8 years? Is my math right? 7 years. 7 years. Can you keep momentum for 7 years? Now, some people who say started their campaign originally in 2017, which should be 8 years, and like maybe ran for governor twice and still travels his state. Some people can keep momentum for years. Guy you're looking at now can keep momentum for years. Can Elon Musk? Most people cannot. I am a goddamn anomaly. As you know, I am. The guys who watch me, I'm an anomaly. I'm the guy who just keeps going for years and years, and I keep momentum going. Most people can't do that. Most people won't do that. I'm the idiot. I'm the crazy man who does that. Other people don't do that. I'm the one who crossed my state 7 times, right? I'm the one who does that. Most people don't. Now, to your point, Mike, if he finds a guy like me who will keep the momentum for the next 7 years until 2032, then I'm right? If that happens, what the hell are the odds of finding another one of me? It could happen, I guess, but right? So yeah, you have to keep the momentum for 7 years. Get the 5% in 2028 first. Keep momentum for the next 4, so that somebody shows up, takes all of it, and makes impact in 2032. Is that possible? Yes. Is it realistic? No. I'm with Mike. I'm not going to bet on that one, but it could happen. I'm telling you what could happen, but I'm not going to bet on that. That's something I'd have to see I'd have to see a whole lot more happen before I would buy that one. A whole lot more happen.
I was a Secretary of State, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Every state has some very, very particular type of rules to get on. So with a lot of money, you can overcome that.
True.
To do this in a midterm might be a little difficult. The next presidential, it might be.
Can I say, don't you think the Democratic Party, this is not just frankly, about Republicans. I think what
True.
Elon is trying
She's
to
right.
say is that both political parties
Yes.
have disaffected voters who really don't like what their party is doing.
This is true. This is literally what Duke of Hex is saying. This is true. It's literally what Duke of Hex is saying. You're right. She gets it. We all get it. The question is, here's the issue. Elon Musk has the cash. Right now, he doesn't have a team. Who knows what they're doing? I know this already. Doesn't have a team. Why? He hasn't called me yet. Hopefully one day he will. Most of these people, if they get serious, I get a phone call at one point. Someone goes, have you heard Larry Sharpe yet? That happens at one point. So far hasn't happened. He also hasn't put anything into actual writing yet. He hasn't like submitted paperwork yet. He hasn't done that either yet. So is it serious? Maybe, maybe not. Once that happens, if I get a call, then maybe it's real. He doesn't have a team that knows what they're doing yet. He does not. He's got a bunch of grifters, to the other guy's point, who want to make a bunch of cash. And I'm not mad at him, right? Elon, write me a check too. I'll take money too. I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite. You can throw money at me, I'm taking it. So Elon, throw me money. So that's what's happening right now. He doesn't have that. If he can't find the right people around him, this will fail. Money's great, but you got to find the right talent around you. You have to. He's not there right now. Matt, thank you for the $5. Won't happen. But what if like 250 million Americans just refuse to pay taxes? They can't put us all in jail. Take that duopoly. Well, here's the issue. Two parts to remember. Number one of my favorite books is a book called The Book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi. Those of you know who Miyamoto Musashi is. Miyamoto Musashi was the greatest swordsman in Japan, in the history of Japan. He was the greatest. Books about him, movies about him, a real person. He existed, I think, 16th century. I think that's right. Japan. I think 16th century. It's in that area. I think it was 16th century. And he wrote a book called Book of Five Rings. And it's about sword fighting. One of my favorite books. And one of the things he talks about is when you're fighting a group of people, don't be afraid, don't be worried. Strike some of the leaders and the rest will run. You have to fight them all. They're not going to fight to the death, right? You drop a couple of leaders, the rest run. That's what happens with taxes. You put a couple people in jail, the rest run. And there's an old joke from the Soviets invaded and controlled Poland. After the Germans left, the Soviets took over. And the Poles thought, we're going to be independent now. And it's also like, silly Poles. Independence. That's funny. They laughed. The Soviets laughed. And so as the Poles decided to, fight back, one of the Polish leaders went to the Soviet officer and said, you can't put us all in jail. And the Soviet officer's response was, why not? And he put them all in jail. So I'm not sure that the American government wouldn't just play a Soviet and go, why not? Just put you all in jail. It's fine. It's a problem. Yeah. So it could. And the second piece is knock out a couple of leaders and that's about it. So my VA lady, member for 2 months. Thank you. The duopoly will always agree on one thing, joining forces to keep third parties off the ballot. Yes. I'm going to cover that in a minute here too. You took a little bit of my steam, but that's okay. I like it. Hashtag abolish political parties. You just made Roger Meadows very happy. That's what he wanted to hear. If he's watching, you made his night. You just made his night. Literally what he wanted to hear. And George Washington, by the way, would agree.
So, I mean, even for Democrats, they're in the doghouse right now with their voters, frankly.
Democrats are not happy.
Risk that you could siphon off some of those people?
Yeah, I mean, you just never know where those voters might come from. Yeah, because, there are people on the Democrats say, hey, Democrats, you need to fight harder and harder than what you're doing right now. Republicans, probably some of the Republican voters might think they maybe went over.
This all depends on branding. You put Elon Musk up front, Democrats do not like Elon. Remember, two Democrats, Elon Musk and RFK Jr. are traitors. They are traitors. That's not going to work. You put somebody else up front, maybe. Like if he brings on someone like, I don't know, if he brings Yang on, Yang is not seen as a traitor by Democrats. Democrats do not think he's a traitor at all. Yang can't stand Trump, so Democrats will not see him as a traitor. He brings on someone like Yang on, Democrats could vote for it. That's possible. If like someone like, I mean, not necessarily Yang, could be Dean Phillips, I mean, whoever. It could be someone else who is the front person. He brings that person on. I think it's possible Democrats do vote for that party. Absolutely, it could happen. And then the Republicans who are going to vote for that party are basically going to be Republicans who don't like Trump. And here's the problem. It's going to be Republicans who don't like Trump and who don't like neocons. That's why it's only 4%. That's why homeboy is saying 4%. Most Republicans either like Trump or neocons or both. I mean, not all Republicans, of course, they're not a monolith. Some don't. I get it. But the vast majority of Republicans either like Trump or like neocons or both. That's just Democrats. Is how it works. I mean Republicans. I'm not insulting. It's just true. If you're a Republican, you're like, yeah, Larry's right. That's most. So that 4% is like that little chunk that might go to Elon, and you might get a couple of Democrats. Okay, maybe you do. Maybe he puts Andrew Yang or something, and he gets another 5% from Democrats. Okay, 9%. Now, don't get me wrong. 9% is not 4%. That's more. That does open up, but that doesn't get you a presidential win. Does that get you 5%? Set you up for 2032? Yeah, it does. Right? If you're ready to commit for 7 years, this plan could work. If you're going to commit for 7 years, you could do it. It's possible, but that's a 7-year commitment, right? Then possible. And over that time, could you focus and win a couple of local type races? You could win some local races. You could win like a mayor here. You could win, city council here or there. You could maybe win state assembly, depending on where you are, particularly in places that are so gerrymandered that the other party doesn't run anybody, right? So like where the Republican runs unopposed, Democrat runs unopposed. These are races you could, in theory, win because all of the other people would vote for you to get rid of the one guy. So you get all of the I hate that guy vote plus your 9% you would get anyway. So that is possible. There is a way of making this work, but it's not just putting a post out on X. It's serious. So Daniel says, what is his platform? Can he somehow be aligned with us libertarians? This is the issue. Right now, his branding is basically, I'm libertarian with money. That's basically his brand right now. Now, don't get me wrong. I like that. But I think we know at our highest, when we had Gary Johnson, who compared to all the people who we ran, was our most successful candidate of all time, 4.5 million votes, 3%. So if he is that, and we get his 4%, and we get the 3% Gary Johnson gave us, we got 7%. Okay, not bad. Not bad. That gets us past the 5%, and we can make some impact in 2032. Same thing. That's what I'm saying. He could easily align with libertarians. Easily align with libertarians, get his 4, our 3, that's 7. 7's more than 5. We break 5% in 2028. Now we got matching funds for 2032. Now we got a shot for impact 2032. Again, 5-year plan. 7-year plan. I'm okay with that. That's a good deal. It's a 7-year plan to make real impact. And not just that. You find those spots where a libertarian could possibly win. You throw his money at them. We got a shot. We had a couple of those things happen in Indiana a couple years back where rainwater pulled like 12, 13%. Add Elon's money into that. Maybe rainwater gets 30% and wins the 3-way. That could be done, right? That kind of stuff could be done. We got to find the right spots. It could be done. He does not have the people who know how to do that. He doesn't have them, Daniel. That's why he should call me, and we could fix this. So, yes, that's the reason why. So, yeah. John says, he says, Mike Voss, I think Elon has a soft spot for New York City, and that's why I think he's interested, plus giving a little jab to Trump. Yeah, I could see him try to do something like that. Yeah, to have a win, right? I could see him try to have a win, right? Look, people love winning. They do. They love winners. One reason people don't like their parties is we don't win. If he could get a win someplace, smart move. See, we got this win. See, we got that win. We get this one. We got that one. Yes, a win is critically important. I completely agree.
On some things, because look, both parties overreach. It happens. It overreaches.
That's been my worry since Trump got the mandate, is he would overreach. I said it before. He gets it. That is my concern.
And the American public has a way of bringing back people to somewhere around the center.
I've been saying this, Abby, since before the election.
Yes, you have.
This is, I think we're approaching the end of the two-party system in America.
God, I hope
if
she's
parties
right.
don't self-correct.
Yes.
Voters
I
are
hope she's right.
frustrated and their loyalty is no longer reliable.
Duke of Facts, she's talking your language. She's talking your language,
it's
dude.
Elon Musk. I'm not sure. I mean, it's why we spent a week talking about who won the Democratic primary in New York, because you have parties like the Working Families Party that are starting
stop.
to do recruitment and have been
No, they're
in
not.
formation
Stop
for
lying.
20
No,
years.
they're not.
I'll just say, though, to close on this man had the keys to the kingdom. He had our data. He had
Just had to insult the end. All right. They did decent. They just had to insult the end. I appreciate that. Absolutely. They just had to do it. So you saw that they become a member. And I appreciate that, guys. If you become a member, it does help. If you want to become a member, the advantage is the members panel show is this Friday, July 11th at 8 p.m. I've already reached out to people who are going to be on it. Should be 3 people. Guys, respond. Make sure you respond to me. So if you pick somebody else, if you guys tell me no, but I've already got 3 people up there ready to go. Also, members can submit reaction videos, right? So you see videos I react to, members can submit them. I'll react to your videos, no matter what it is. I do it on anything. I don't care what it is. Most of them is political, but I don't care. Whatever it is all good. And the panel show, by the way, is not you members watch it. Members are on the show with me right here. They're with me on the show. Anyone can watch. That's how that works. So please make sure if you can do that, that would be amazing. Please do that. If you want to become a member, you can, of course, do so by popping over on YouTube. If you want to, click that join button, $29 per month, get you on there. If you want your chat to go to the front, you can always rant me on Rumble, or you can super chat me on YouTube. Speaking of rants on Rumble, JJ says, I have sent some clips via X DM for consideration. Oh, I need to check that. I'm sorry. Is that you? Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't always know who you are. You have J. Okay. That's you. Now I got it. Thank you. Peace also for $1. Appreciate it. Zero energy or anti-grav would be cool for Elon to pull out. This is a point that other guy was talking about. I would rather him focus on that than this. I mean, unless he's going to give libertarians money, in which case that's the number one thing he should do, give libertarians money. But if he's not going to do that, yeah, go do anti-grav or zero energy. Do that. I'm with you, Peace. Let's do that. Phil, thank you for the $1. The Tea Party and Occupy became co-opted quickly. They would have been better off if they had become third parties. What would have ever happened if they did? The Tea Party was the Republican Party and Democratic Party deal with their fringes differently. The Democratic Party uses an iron fist and just crushes them, like it crushed Bernie Sanders. It just crushes them, like it crushed all opposition to Joe Biden. It just uses it's iron fist. The Republican Party actually has a velvet glove on. The Republican Party acts like it loves you. It goes, come on in, and then smothers you to death. So it's a different way of dealing with it. The Republicans bring you in and smother you. The Democrats go, how dare you? That's what Democrats do. It's very different. Republicans just smother you. So the Republicans brought in the Tea Party and then smothered it. They brought in Freedom Caucus and then smothered it. So far, they haven't smothered Maha. That was my concern, is they would smother Maha. I was worried. So far, they haven't. But the Democrats, you know what they're all about.
How dare you?
That's Democrats right there. They're all about that. You do not step up on Democrats. They do not want to hear that. Republicans will bring you in and then co-opt you completely. So a little bit different way of doing it. My gut says if the Tea Party had become a separate party, who would have been their leader? Right? That's the issue. Who would have been their leader? I'm not sure who could have picked that spot or taken that spot. I don't know who. That's my concern. So thank you for that. Let me grab a couple more comments before I keep going. All righty. It is Chicholable. Crypto bros demand that USA switch their S coin. Some of them do. Maybe we get to use some S coins here or there. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe we do that. We'll figure that whole thing out. Mike Has Bad Knee says politics is all about selling out. Or it's just in what way you sell out and what you get that makes a difference. Good point. I think a lot of people do. I think it's a good point. Yes, absolutely. So, Matt, thank you for gifting a membership. Guys, membership's coming by. I appreciate it so much. Every membership counts. Thank you so much, Matt, for that gift. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Yes. So Kim says lawyers created the corruption. Yes, how else are they going to fix it? Michael, thanks for being a member, says, yeah, I'm with you, Elon, Larry, I'm with you on Elon, Larry. Take the money. I do not trust Elon and have issue with his cronyism. Yes, so just give us the money so we can do it. Give us the money. There we go. Yes. Matt says, time to bring back the Whig Party. Oh, here's the thing. Trump says in his thing, third parties don't work. Here's the most important piece. Sometimes it works, right? And here's the biggest one, the Republican Party. For those of you who don't know, the Republican Party was a third party, right? They replaced the Whigs. But here's a big difference. When it came to the Republican Party of the 1850s, the Republican Party of the 1850s had two things that right now the American Party does not have. Number one, it had a huge issue, and that issue was abolition. The Republican Party was heavily built upon ending slavery. Most people don't know that now because they call every Republican a racist. But the Republican Party was built on the idea of heavily built, not all, but heavily built on the idea of abolition. It was abolishing slavery was not popular with Democrats at all. And the Whigs were like, do we got to worry? Can we just not talk about it? That was with the Whigs. Can we just not talk about it can we just not? That was the Whigs. And the Republicans like, no, we're going to talk about it. And it's a big deal. And we need to abolish slavery. So number one, a big issue that was affecting the entire country. Number one. Number two, they had Abraham Lincoln. Number three, they were winning races in other places and doing things. Now, if the American Party gets their Abraham Lincoln, whoever that person is, if they get a big issue like abolition, which is a debt, that issue, I can't see it. I mean, maybe. I can't see it. But if they have it, then yes, then it's possible, right? And then they do the same thing, 7-year plan, right? Have whoever is their Abraham Lincoln, have the big issue, whatever that issue is. Maybe it's ending wars. It could be peace in theory. Could be. That's maybe. A lot of Americans want peace. So could be peace. It depends who was in front. Could be peace. Possible. That's a maybe. I could see that being a thing. And then 7-year plan. Then we'd be bringing back the Whig Party because then either Republicans or Democrats would go away and that party would go, or for a short period of time, who knows how long, there would actually be 3 parties. The hope would be, this would be the hope. Again, this hasn't happened in almost 200 years, 160 years is my math about right? This hasn't happened about 160 years, right? So we don't know what's going to happen here, right? Assuming that it does happen, that they do find their Abraham Lincoln and they find their issue, right? And it begins to happen and it's all about peace and they find their guy or gal and they move forward. It is possible that whichever party is getting hammered, for the sake of argument, Republicans are getting hammered, that they would say, hey, instead of us going under, let's actually change the rules to have an actual multi-party system. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying I would hope that they would do that out of self-preservation. Not because they would care, but change the system to where you'd have things like ranked choice voting or things like, multiple parties being represented in one election, right? Things like that. For example, the example would be a state would break up its districts, not one person, one election, but say groups, upstate New York and say downstate New York as an example. Upstate New York gets X number of people, downstate gets Y number of people, and then the votes are broken up by party so that each party has representation. Now, certain countries do that. Maybe something like that. I don't know if that's the right answer, but my point is you would create something that would stop the 2-party duopoly cartel. That would be my hope. Will it happen? I don't know. But I would hope that would happen. Phil, thank you for the membership. Guys, thank you guys. Grab remember the rules of memberships. We got 2 of them today. Matt brought one up. And then Phil, if you made $20 million grifting off of Elon Musk or anything else, you cannot take a membership. If you made $20 million. If you made less than $20 million, you may take a membership. If you made $20 million specifically grifting with Elon Musk, pay the $4.99. Don't be cheap. Please do that if you can, right? You might say to yourself, Larry, you seem to know like a whole lot about this stuff. True. That's true. I spend a lot of time talking with people and learning stuff and chatting with people, a lot of time. And one of the things you can do to learn about how things work is you can do something kind of important, which I like. And that is you can go on. Civil, yes, you can. If you do me a favor, head over to Civil, and I'm going to show you something that you can see right now. There is one of the best documentaries I have on. They have many of them, but one of them is Sweden. lessons for America. The advantage of this one here is people will tell you all the time, Larry, we have to be more socialistic like the Swedes because they're socialists and they're all happy. They will tell you that all the time. However, that is not true. Why? How do I know it's not true? Watch this. Go on Civil. Make yourself get yourself on board with Civil. When you put your name in there and all your goodies, upper right-hand corner, you're going to see a little green bar. Click that little green thing. When you click that for the code, put in Larry, Larry, all caps. When you do that, you'll get 50% off, which is $25 for the entire year. The whole year, $25. Watch this one, Sweden. This guy, who's a Swede, he's not like some American talking trash. This dude's a Swede. He tells you exactly what's up in Sweden. The countries in Scandinavia, they don't consider themselves socialists at all. They don't call themselves socialists. We call them socialists because, I don't know, we want to, because they have welfare plans or whatever. So now they're socialists. They will tell you they're not. And the more socialist they become, the more they failed. They have actually learned their lessons and turned themselves around. Sweden, by the way, was actually one of the most open countries when it came to the lockdowns. This guy talks about what actually happened in Sweden and the lessons we should learn. This is critical. Why? Because Mamdani is about to go down a road that Sweden went down and it didn't work. Argentina went down that road. It did not work. Sweden went down the road. Did not work. This will show you. Again, head over to Civil, CIVL.com. Put in the code Larry, all caps, LARRY, for 50% off. You can check this out. Plus something else. Tomorrow's show, 7 p.m., is a special show just on Civil. Wednesday shows at 7 p.m. are on Civil only. You want to join us over on Civil, you can do so. That's how you do it. We are really trying here, Civil, to really upgrade civilization. That's what Civil stands for. You didn't know that? It's true. It's true. That's what it stands for. All righty. Let me keep going down here. Andrew says, if Elon makes an actual investment in this, I can see this take off. Do what the Forward Party fell short in doing. Yeah, Forward. The problem that happened with Forward is Forward decided that stopping Trump was more important than moving forward. That's what happened. They decided stopping Trump was more important, and it wasn't. Even if you guys hate Trump, and some of you I'm sure do, that wasn't more important. There wasn't. A third party was more important than whatever Trump was going to do. Absolutely. So, yeah. Let me move on if I can. I'm over on Rumble, and the Demonizer says, I do think America's unconditional support for Israel may be the issue. Republicans can't stop bowing. Well, he didn't say bowing, but it's BB. And Democrats don't want to talk about it. Young people on both sides are horrified. It's a valid point. It was one of RFK Jr.'s worst takes, was unconditional support. I agree. That is an issue. It does make people think, what the hell? I do think there is an issue with that. I agree. Now, is it the number one issue for most people? No. Most people, for them, it's not the number one issue. But is it an issue? Yes. Agreed. It is an issue. People are concerned about it, and it does turn people off. And if you found something that was close to that, the other issue, though, is Trump's a cult of personality. Again, whether you like him or not, it's just true. You've got to find, I keep saying it, you've got to find the right person, the right front person. That's a critical piece. You've got to find the right person. JG says, I love yesterday's show. Oh, thank you. A lot of people like yesterday's show. A lot of people did. I got a lot of positive feedback from yesterday's show. I was surprised how much positive feedback. I wasn't sure people would like it. So, Patty, yet again, you were right. You had your finger on the pulse. I took advantage of it, and I get the credit. See how good it is? I love that stealing credit from you. I get all the credit. I'm teasing you, Patty. You know it was all you. That's it. Absolutely. So, yeah. Let me grab, if I could. This one is another interesting one. This is from, believe it or not, CBS. So this is like mainstream people talking about this. And I try to bring you mainstream when it happens, because mainstream means the average Joe Schmo is actually paying attention. And that means we're going somewhere.
Being bummed, I mean, absolutely unhappy with our political parties is a majority pursuit these days. As American 100%. As apple pie. No one shot out fireworks on 4th of July for our two-party system. That was not celebrated. It all seems so broken, so beyond repair. In fact, that even billionaires these days, some of our favorite ones, are calling for change. Elon Musk has threatened to launch a new political party after his recent feud with President Trump over the big, beautiful bill. And Musk has a name for this party. It's called the America Party. He says But by the way, third parties do not have a great track record of success here in these United States. We've seen the Green Party and the Libertarian Party on presidential election ballots for decades now. You know the candidates. Maybe you remember them. Jill Stein on the Green Party ticket, Gary Johnson, Ralph Nader, Libertarians. But none of those third-party candidates has come even close at all to winning.
Yes, however, the issue goes back to, do they make impact? I agree. Do they make impact is the issue.
At best, they've been viewed as spoilers, and spoiled.
That's because you guys keep saying that. Stop saying that.
It's difficult to even find a candidate willing to run on a third-party ticket.
Yes, it's difficult to find a candidate who will actually run on a third-party ticket. I know, because you get your ass kicked. I know, I got my ass kicked. Yes, because all your errors are now public and permanently on the internet. I know, all of mine are. Yes, you get yelled at, you get attacked. I know, and you get nothing. You have to be a crazy ideologue like me. Yes, it is hard, which is why I keep doing this damn show. True, he's not wrong. So, did my internet go down?
For that reason.
There we go.
Look at the No Labels group, for example, just this last election cycle. They are a group of Republicans, of Democrats, and of independents that attempted to find a moderate third option candidate to run.
The Republicans, Democrats who wanted to find a moderate. I wonder why we weren't successful.
In the presidential race before they too had to admit defeat, at least this time around. So why is it so hard for third parties to succeed?
Yes.
We've got the absolute best person here to talk about it.
No, you don't. I'm not there. So you have a good person, not the best.
Chief strategist for No Labels, Ryan Clancy. Ryan, good morning. Thank you very much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Feel free to take issue with anything I just said as part of your first answer. And just tell us, why is it so hard to find a candidate and to launch a third party?
I mean, the short answer is, at the state level, if you're trying to get on the ballot, the two parties do absolutely everything they can to make your life impossible.
This is the point that I cannot tell you how happy I am that I keep hearing this. The people ask me why I was so happy RFK Jr. ran last year. There are many reasons why I was happy he ran, but probably my number one personal reason is I spoke about ballot access last year more than probably every libertarian has ever spoken about ballot access in the last 50. I was doing sometimes 2 and 3 hits a day on local podcasts, local news, all the time, talking about ballot access, ballot access, ballot access, ballot access. People never heard of it really until RFK Jr. Now they all talk about it. Third parties now. They eventually are going to have to do something about it. Eventually. I don't know when that's going to be. Is it going to be next year, 10 years? But now people are finally talking about it. Yes. I'm so happy to hear about this. 100% happy about this. So Phil says, will MAGA last? There's no core ideology. It's a very good point, Phil. Thank you for $2, by the way. Right now, MAGA is great, right? Right now, it's great because Trump is a cult of personality, and Trump is a force of nature. Again, I know people don't like him. I get it. I'm not taking anything away, but he's a force of nature. He's an anomaly. It's just true. He just is. Again, if you love him, you hate him. It's true. He's an anomaly. So right now, it's because of him. But you're finding people like Bannon, as an example, and others who are trying to create what America First is. Right now, no one's been able to achieve that yet. Eventually, I think somebody will. I think Tucker Carlson thought he could, but Tucker Carlson went up against Trump in many ways. And you can't really be against Trump and be America First or MAGA right now. Maybe once Trump goes away, perhaps you can, but now you can't. Trump is going to become the Sun Yat-sen. I talked about Sun Yat-sen before. Sun Yat-sen is a Chinese hero. And no matter who you are, whether you're, a dictator like Chiang Kai-shek, whether you're, Mao Zedong, whether you're Xi Jinping, doesn't matter. You love Sun Yat-sen, and Sun Yat-sen was your guy, and you were like him, and all that kind of. He's great no matter what, right? No matter what he is. I think Trump for the America First will become that person. So I don't think you can go against Trump and figure out whatever MAGA is or whatever America First is. The guy who's doing a decent job of it, but not successful yet, is Steve Bannon, because he's not anti-Trump. He's anti-everybody around Trump, right? So I would look to him for the future to see if he'll be able to do it. If it's not him, be someone who's trying to do something like him. I agree with you, Phil. There isn't a clear what America First or MAGA is yet. There just isn't. But maybe there will be. But it will have to be. It can't be someone who's anti-Trump, and it will have to pop up once Trump is gone, whenever that is. Garrett, 10 memberships. Garrett, you are awesome. Thank you, my brother. Again, coming in hot, making things rock and roll. 10 memberships is the answer. Guys, grab memberships to the come. Pick them up to the best of your ability. Grab those memberships. Again, my rule, same. If you made $20 million, I'm going to make a secondary rule. Secondary rule. If you made $20 million or if you grifted off Elon Musk last year, either one of those two, you may not take a membership. If you did not grift off Elon Musk last year, or you did not make $20 million, you're good. That's it. So thank you, Garrett. I appreciate it, man. You are awesome coming in hot as always. I do appreciate that. So, all righty. Frank says, if Larry Sharpe runs for governor, leaning to the left, Larry will hurt the communists in office now. But the Republicans allow Larry to run? I doubt it. If Larry runs for governor leaning to the left, Larry will hurt the communists in office now. But the Republicans allow Larry to run? Huh. Do I lean left? Depends on certain things. Maybe. The difference between me and others, Frank, is even when I lean left, I'm a libertarian, so I don't force you to lean left. Even when I lean right, I don't force you to lean right. Right? Being a libertarian, I may have personal views that you disagree with, but those are my personal views. And I use them personally in my own life. Right? You hear me talk about an example. It's a funny example, but it's one I was talking about. Me being on a keto diet. I think keto's awesome. Doesn't mean you should be on it. I'm not going to force you to be on it. If you ask my opinion, I tell you keto's magic, but that's for me. It works great for me. Doesn't mean it work for you. And I would never in any way force you. Again, if you ask me, I'm happy. Look, all I do is give opinion. You want my opinion? I'll tell you my opinion all day long. But you're not required to follow it if you don't want to. I mean, you should because I'm smart, but you don't have to. So yeah, I think that piece is if I ran left, the problem is if I were to run for governor again, this is a state in New York State where we can do fusion voting. Frank, if you have any connection at all, the answer would be for the Republicans to let me run in their primary as an independent, the same as Bernie Sanders runs as a Democrat. Even though he's an independent, he runs Democratic primary. And he's not a Democrat. Why? Right now, Republicans still can't win New York State. And I know Republicans say all day, yeah, this is the time. It's not. It isn't the time. And what happened in New York City proves that. The Republican cannot win the state right now. Can an independent? Yes. I know Democrats will vote for me. Your point is valid. I've seen them. They have voted for me in the past. I have data. I know I ran for office. Democrats will vote for me. They have. So if you get an independent who runs an independent line, Elon, if you're listening, America Party, if you pick a guy like me, I'll get you your ballot access. So write me that check. I'll get you the ballot access. So America Party, Libertarian Party, Forward Party, We the People Party, Republican Party, Conservative Party, that's 6 lines. I get 6 lines against Kathy Hochul's 2. That's a winnable race. She's beatable. Some Republican runs the Republican. They lose by 5 points again. No change. They lose by 5 points again. No change. The state doesn't change. Nothing changes. Republicans lose by 5 points again. Nothing changes. So I agree with you. I'm actually with you. So yeah. All righty. Frank goes on to say, if Musk's candidate leans to the right, it will hurt Republicans. But if Musk brings a candidate leaning to the left, it will hurt Democrats. This is my point about branding, Frank. You're correct. How does he brand the party? Right? Does he bring someone on to lead the party like a Justin Amash? Right? He brings a Justin Amash aboard. You're correct. Justin Amash leans right. That's going to hurt Republicans. He brings an Andrew Yang aboard. Andrew Yang leans left. That's going to hurt Democrats. I think you're correct. How does he brand this? That's the issue. Who will people see they're joining or being with when they join this party? I think you're right. Yes, I agree completely. Andrea says, Larry, you are 1 in a million. Good luck finding someone like you. Oh, so sweet, Andrea. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I do.
Can make it so you have to get a lot of signatures. They can compress the deadlines under which you can get them. They can challenge your signatures once you file them. There's even been instances where state legislatures in the middle of an election will change election laws just to.
What? I've never had that happen, except everything he just said has happened to me. Except for everything that's never happened to me. Except for everything he just said, none of that's happened to me. Oh my God. Yes, that's what happened every time.
Make things easier for them. So they really have what is in effect a cartel in all 50 states that these two parties control, and cartels don't like competition.
Yes. Do you know how much I love that this is on CBS Morning? I love that I've been saying this for 8 years. That's not true. I've been saying this since 2012. I've been saying this now for 13 years. And this is on CBS Morning. This makes my day. We have a shot in the future. I don't know. Is this 1 year? Is this 5 years? But it's coming. Like, you can see the change is coming. I hope it's tomorrow. I don't know when it is, but it's clearly coming. Matthew says, if we all post on X tagging Elon to call Larry Sharpe, it might happen. Matthew's correct. So everybody, please go to X. Please do that. Tag Elon. Call Larry Sharpe about the America Party. He's right. Please do that. See if I do it. Everyone go on X. Say, hey, Elon, call Larry Sharpe to help you get America Party going. Tag me and him. Yes, do that. He's right. Please do that. Good idea. Yomir says, Larry for governor. Thank you, my friend. I do appreciate that. Yes. That would matter. That could help tremendously. Guys, also something else will help. Clicking the like button. The button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. Please do so if you would. Also, make sure you're sharing this or reposting this, right? Also that. And follow me, of course, also on Facebook, X, and Rumble. All of those matter. If you can do that, it will help tremendously if you could. If you want your chat to go right to the front, you can always either rant me on Rumble or you can super chat me on YouTube. Either one, all works. Either of those work to get your chat right to the front. I'm trying to grab members first if I can. I'm trying to grab the people I can. I get so many of these. I want to do as many as I possibly can. It can be challenging. So if you want to super chat me or rant me, that will help to get to the front.
How hard is it to recruit a candidate who's well known enough to actually do this and risk their political reputation and also risk being a spoiler potentially?
Did you hear that? Risk their reputation. Yes, that's true. Once you pack, that's why they won't leave their parties, because you can't go back. You are a traitor. RFK Jr. can't go back to Democrats. He's done. He can't go back. It's done. His reputation in that party is complete, finished, done. That's important. Yes.
Or just a distraction.
Well, look, that's the biggest thing. And we ran into this last cycle where if we were talking to somebody who was a Democrat or Republican and you threw in on this effort, you were risking your entire future political career.
Yes.
You're dead to the parties.
Right.
No doubt, huh? Yes.
I think what's really interesting about what Elon Musk is doing is we don't know a lot about this effort, but it does look like he's going to focus on House and Senate races in 2026, which is a very different dynamic than the presidential level. And if you concentrate just a lot of resources on a few races, you could actually break through.
Why couldn't the existing political parties just have more moderate wings or centrist wings and, independent?
This I got to tell you, is a question that many people have. I mean, it's to me, I'm laughing, but I think most people ask, why can't the parties just be more moderate and be regular, right? That's what he's asking. It shouldn't be a crazy question to ask.
What's wrong with that?
Sounds so reasonable,
It seems like it could happen.
It used to be that way. But look, the short answer is that the parties are absolutely ruthless in crushing dissent. And also this entire.
Did you hear what he said? Ruthless in crushing dissent. Yes, the Democrats use an iron fist. The Republicans use a smothering blanket. But yes, either way, it's gone.
Constellation of activist groups that have sprung up that if you are a member and if you in any way deviate from what typically the base of your party wants, they will attack you, they will primary you. And that's the key, because for 90% of members of Congress, their primary race is the only election that matters. And you might have a district of 1 million people, maybe 75,000 people show up in that primary, and they tend to be further right or further left in the general.
Yes, the primaries, exactly right. And who pays for the primaries? Oh, wait, we do. Yes. Gene asked, was Johnson more successful than Brown? Yes, he was. Brown was great. Don't get me wrong. Harry Brown was a great libertarian, author. A lot of people came to the bar because of him. He was absolutely wonderful. He was great. But I'm talking vote totals. In vote totals, not who was a better libertarian. Don't get me wrong. I love Gary Johnson. I came to the party because of Gary Johnson. But to be forward, Brown was a better libertarian. That's true, right? So if you're looking at just libertarian value, Brown was a better libertarian. That's true. A better writer. He was that. But I'm talking politics, percentage of the vote, making impact on the vote. Hands down, Gary Johnson was our best libertarian when it comes to election results. So to be clear on that distinction, Harry Brown was one of the best libertarians we ever had. I mean, he's one of the best. But when it comes to just votes, which is what parties are about, right? Gary Johnson was the best. No one's come close to what he's done. I hope that we can beat what he did. I mean, he was bad. If he came back, I'd be like, Gary Johnson again. Yep, I'd be on board. Do it again. I'll be on board. I would do it. Yes, he was for vote totals. He was the best one. So yes.
It's a closed primary, so people who are registered independents can't participate.
So that's there. We just looked at this. There are.
See that? He's in New York like I am. I'm not a registered Democrat, right? Therefore, I can't vote. I have no say in my politics. None. If Trump wins, there'll be no democracy. I don't have democracy now. That's not an exaggeration, right? I don't get to vote in the primaries. The primaries decide the vast majority of votes. Now, here's the worst part. You might go, Larry, do you want open primaries? Yes, because we pay for the primaries. Taxpayer dollars pay for primaries. In New York City, you get matching funds 8-1. So taxpayer dollars pay for the campaigns. I know some of you just threw up in your mouth right now. That's how New York works. My taxpayer dollars not only pay for the primary, but also pay the candidates to run to which I cannot vote for because we have closed primaries. If you're not going to have taxpayer dollars pay for all these primaries and the individual parties pay for their own primaries any way they decide, okay, you do you. You do you. But we're paying. If I'm paying, I should vote. That's taxation representation, right? So yes, he is correct.
16 million independent voters in America right now who are basically totally disenfranchised.
Correct.
Because they live in states with closed primary systems.
I'm a registered independent. I just had this happen in New York. I couldn't participate in the primary, which could determine who's mayor.
It's a scandal.
Correct.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen then as we look ahead to the midterms, 2026? What do you expect on this front? Any movement or is just same old thing?
Well, I think there's two things really interesting that could happen. Is that think about how tight the margins are right now in the House and Senate. If Musk's party were able to elect a couple candidates to break through, then a couple things could happen. One, they could get to Congress. There are some existing Democrats and Republicans, and we talked to a lot of them, who are very disaffected and might like to get together in a block with a group like this. And
that's what I was talking about for running for governor, right? The New York State Senate, if we had about 5 or 6 guys who would become libertarians in the state Senate, I would control the Senate via swing vote. Yes, that's exactly the right point. Imagine if you had 4 libertarians in the Senate right now. 4 libertarians in the Senate. We would control the Senate via swing vote. Nothing can get passed. You couldn't get 51 votes without 4 libertarians. Yes, he is correct. That is the way you make impact. That he's correct. That's the way you make
What
impact.
if you had a group of 10 of these? Maybe it's 3 out of Musk's party, 4 Democrats, 3 Republicans, pick your numbers, who band together and actually start acting like the Freedom Caucus does, or the Progressive Caucus does, where they
You're talking coalition.
Yeah, a coalition. And again, if the margin is
Imagine
3
coalition.
or 4 in the House, and you got 10 people in this kind of independent thinking block, then what you have is somebody that can be kingmakers. They can influence leadership elections. They can say,
this is my point. You don't have to win every election. Look, would I love libertarians to win every election? Of course, I wish the entire country was libertarian and there was no other parties because libertarians ran everything. That'd be awesome. But that's not how that's going to work ever, right? Even, of course not. But can libertarians, Greens, in theory, American Party, affect politics? Yes, that can be done and should be done. Mike says, if Elon is serious, I estimate $3 billion to get to 2032 with a candidate to get 5%. Less serious, 1 or 2 congressional seats, 2028 costs $1.5 billion. Media fighting him all the way. There's a way to get the media to not fight him. There's a way, Mike. The way is you buy a bunch of media. That's the way. And if you buy media in certain races where other people aren't, the media will shut up because they don't want to lose you as a client. That's the scam, right? Most people don't know that. If I say there's a senator race in New York and the Democrats are going to win and they know they're going to win, so they don't spend much money. Republicans don't spend much money. You show up and say, I want to try to fight this senator race. And you drop $100,000, $200,000, $400,000, $500,000, whatever that is, $1 million, $10 million, whatever's the number that's required, depending upon the race, obviously, on ads in the media in New York State. You watch New York State media just not say a word. They won't attack. They'll stop because they want to lose that cash. So you can buy the media off. That's the thing you can do. And again, depends upon the race, right? If you're going for congressional seats, yes, you're right. I think your number 3 billion. That's not unreasonable. I think that's a reasonable number. You do if you could drop $3 billion, and Musk could do that on a presidential race, you could buy enough media to where they would stop attacking you. You could buy enough media to where they'd put you in the debates. I agree. With that amount of money, you could buy enough media to where they put you. Right? Media cares more about cash than anything else. So you could do it. You could buy your way in. I agree. I think 3 billion, easily, you get 5%. Because Americans, 5% of Americans actually want to vote for an independent party, right? That's true. Again, RFK Jr. got at his height 19% in his polling at his height. He averaged around 12. So if you average around 12%, half, you actually get 6%. So 6% of Americans, 5% of Americans actually want to vote for an independent candidate, particularly if they knew that would set them up for 2032. Right? Or 2036, whatever time you do. If they knew that, right? They were like, this is what we're going to do. This is going to set us up for the next. Surely you could do it. Surely. 100%. That could be done. There's enough Americans who were like, yeah, I'll pay the price. There's enough. And you see it in the polling. There's enough who would do it. I completely agree.
We are not voting for this, whatever it is, unless you come through us and you actually start doing things that are more focused on what the middle of the country wants as opposed to what the respective bases of the party.
Ryan, if Elon Musk drove a dump truck of money up to your house and said, you're very smart, you know third-party stuff, can you come work for us? Would you do it?
Well, look, we would love to talk to him. I mean, the guy is an innovator and, he's done a lot of things that...
Okay, Elon, if you drive it to my house with a truckload of money, my answer is yes. This guy's going to talk trash because he's already very wealthy. I'm not. So, Elon, if this guy gives you any shit at all, just take that truck to my house. I'm in. Me and you, bros. Crypto bros, me and you.
People said couldn't be done, and they were eventually done. And I think that's one of the things we've seen in politics.
Okay, let's be clear. He's no labels. He's a smart guy. He knows his stuff. He's run exactly, never. And the number of candidates he's put together, none. I've run candidates, been a candidate. So Elon, truckload of money. Astoria, Queens, please. Thank you very much. Just so we're clear on that, Elon.
Politics these last 10 years, whether you talk about Trump in 2016, whether you talk about Mamdani a couple weeks ago in New York.
Yeah, Ganjin says, Sharpe coin around the corner. Already there. There's already a Sharpe coin, guys. 2018. Already there.
City. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of things that don't seem possible until they suddenly are. And this could be possible.
It sounds like no dump truck of money required. You're just interested intellectually. You think this is possible.
This has a shot. But I'll leave you with this. Every single generation.
He's right. It has a shot. But it's not as easy as some would think or impossible as others. There is a specific way of walking down a road to make this happen. The question is, will he do it, spend the money, and can he find people who will be dedicated to do so? Now, while I'm not mad at no labels people, I'm not, but they bailed. They didn't finish it. Forward bailed. They didn't finish. Whether you like libertarians and Greens or not, the Libertarian Party and the Green Party fielded candidates and went to the end. That's true. You can like that, hate that. That's true. This guy's smart and savvy. He hasn't done it. I have run to the end to where I was a write-in. I ran to the end. In 2018, I was doing my radio show on election day, telling people to go vote for me. You want somebody who will fight in the trenches to the end? You want someone who's been through this more than once? Someone who knows how to raise money as a third party? It's not this guy. He's smart. Elon, you may call.
Of Americans is less attached to political parties than the one that came before. So to
True.
the point where a Gen Z, a 25-year-old person, more than half of them say they're independent. So if the parties keep going this way and they keep not addressing the needs of the vast middle of the country, they are going to get competition.
I get that completely. The idea of saying I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican makes my skin crawl. And I think a lot of people are in that boat.
I think he's not wrong on that. A lot of people are on that boat. I thought the reason why I showed you that is because this is mainstream media, right? This is mainstream media. And that's what I think is interesting. So any case, guys, I want you to think about something if we could. And we talked about the elections, all the problems with elections, all those things. Well, there's actually something you can do to see where you stand on that. What am I going to tell you to do? You know it already. I'm going to ask you to head over to the Advocates. Of course I am. Head over to the Advocates. Click that link that is in right now. That is literally in the description on Rumble, the description on Facebook, the description on YouTube. Click that specific link which says link to the Advocates. Click that link. And when you're there, head over to this area here where it says quizzes and apps. Head over to single issue surveys. When you click on that, head down, look at all these surveys. Don't do all of them though. Just do one of them, the one I'm going to ask you, which is election integrity survey. That's it. Take that survey. Short. They're all short. Which of the following most closely aligns with your beliefs? National elections are broken and outdate systems of political accountability. National elections are too easily stolen and voted for without control. National elections should involve more direct forms of democracy. Which one? What's closest to what you think? And there's a bunch of questions like this. At the end, they'll say, ask for your results. Click that button. If you want to give them your email address, please do so. You'll get an email about every couple of weeks talking about some cool libertarian stuff, which is good. You should read it. I do. I get the emails, so please do so. If you don't want to, you can click the X if you want to. You'll still get your data. When you get your information, take that information and do me a favor, share it. Share it online. Share it on X. Share it on YouTube. Share it on Facebook. Share it wherever you need to share it. Take this specific one, share it out, and then tag me, and then put the same link that brought you here, put that link there. So someone else can take it. You can say, well, Larry, do I want people taking this one or do I want them taking the which SpongeBob character are you? Now, while I'm sure you love SpongeBob, this is more important than which SpongeBob character you are. So don't take the which SpongeBob character you are test. Take this one. This one is a better one. Gets more people talking. Makes you think about who you are and what you're talking about. Please do that here. Click that link. Head over to the Advocates. It does matter. They're supporting our show. And look, you like this show? Take a test. Easy. Free. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Baker Lee says, Larry, why isn't there more libertarian representation in Congress and Senate? Are there many libertarians in lower offices? That guy actually told you about it. If you remember, if you paid attention to what he was saying, he actually brought up this idea of how hard it is. It's very challenging to get in the ballot. It's very challenging to get candidates. It's very hard. Now, we did have a libertarian in Congress. It was Justin Amash. He was in for about a year and a half or so, and then he left. So we did have one in Congress. We also had, I don't remember if we ever had I think we've never had a senator. We did have a couple. We've had state reps here or there. We've had state assemblymen here or there. Most recent one was a guy in Wyoming. We had him in Wyoming for a bit. 2 years maybe. Had a couple in New Hampshire. Have had libertarians in New Hampshire too. So we've had different people around the state here or there, but not many because of all those things we talked about. It's very hard to do it. In certain places, there's just no way you can do it. It's almost impossible. So yeah, you've got to have more people. You've got to have more people doing that. Yes. Ganjin says, Sweden is not socialist. Stop peddling right-wing garbage. I don't know who said that. I don't know. I didn't say what they were. People say they were, though. So yes. Ganjin says, I watched this a few years back. I appreciate that. There we go. Yes. Mike says, Bernie calls the New York State socialist to try and find a victory for his ideology. True. That's accurate. Complete lie. Socialism works nowhere ever. See, but it's not the real socialism. That's what you don't get, Mike. It's not real socialism. See? When it's real socialism, then it works. That's just it. Yeah. See, Andrea knows, but I thought I just didn't do socialism right. See, Andrea gets it. Andrea gets they just didn't do it right. You do it right and then done. So yes, I appreciate that. All righty. Phil says civil has a lot of stuff that's consolidated. True, it does. Civil does. Speaking of that, let me let me go there right now since you said that. Guys, if you want to over to Civil, there's one more thing I can show you at Civil that's kind of interesting. I'll give you one more thing that's cool on Civil. If you want to head over to Civil, as I mentioned, I show you this part. Oh, I can find it here. Hold on. I will show you this one here. This part that Civil has, again, they have a lot of different things here. And this one is the Milton Friedman collection. Why would you care about this one? For those of you who don't know, Thomas Sowell used to be a Marxist. Yes, it's true. One of the best libertarian thinkers that we've had in the country now, but he used to be a Marxist. One of the people that turned him was Milton Friedman. He met him, talked to him, and he did, of course, all the stories that he did. There's a bunch of things that he talked about. Here, the power of the market, tyranny of control, freedom of prosperity, the failure of socialism. Here we go. The failure of socialism, right here. He talks about the failure of socialism, free to choose. You can watch it. There's tons of them.
I'm David Friedman. A few days ago, I found myself in a conversation with a stranger.
And you can watch these as much as you want, listen to them if you want to, whatever you like. Right here, the entire collection. This is literally hours if you want to. And if some of you are going, Larry, I don't get, all this libertarian stuff. Just watch this. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll get it. You'll see it. And every time someone has an argument, you'll be able to go, oh, wait a minute. That's not true. And here's the reason why. This allows you to get a lot of good insight into things that you wouldn't get, all to Phil's point. It's all consolidated. It's all consolidated. It's right there. Phil says right here. He says, it was on YouTube, Free to Choose, started with Milton Friedman, Free to Choose, PBS documentary in 1980. Yeah, this stuff's all here. Civil has it for you. As I say before, CIVL.com. When you head over there and sign up, put your name in there, upper right-hand corner, click the little green shaded part and put in the name Larry, Larry, 50% off. That means $25 for the entire year. The entire year, one full year, $25. It's worth it just to watch this. If you just watch this. And of course, Wednesday show, 7 p.m. on Civil only. So pick it up if you can. Civil.com, code Larry, jump on board. Appreciate what you can do. I'm on there and you can watch on there. And also other people on there too. This isn't just me. I mean, I'm the coolest person on there. That's true. But there are other people who are also cool. That's all. Other people are also cool. So just let's keep that in mind. So, all right, let me keep grabbing some of these comments if I could. All righty. So many of these, I'm going to grab some more if I can. James says, and that's why more than ever we need third parties. Speaking of which, this Friday I launched my second episode of the Political Freedom Fighters podcast. My guest episode is Rob Yates. I know Rob. Rob's a great guy from LPNC. Yes, Libertarian Party, North Carolina. Yes, he's a great guy. Tell him I said hi. Did I go on his show or he went on my show? I forgot one of the other. But every time I go to South Carolina, I see him. So yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate that. He's a good guy. He is a good guy. All righty. Michael Smith reposted the stream. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. Yep. Liberty says keto is magic. True, it is. Absolutely. Yep. Missy says Larry doesn't really lean left. He's open to talk to those on the left. Also true. Yes. Also true. Kay John says, Missy, I do need some Sharpe swag so I can represent in Indiana. I'll check it out later. Oh, thank you. Yes, you can check out my Sharpe swag. Head over to Zazzle.com if you want. Put in either Larry Sharpe or Sharpe Way, and you will see it. You will absolutely see it. Yes. So, all righty. Rick says, funny, but the Ozempic song is Magic by Pilot. Keto is magic, but Ozempic is profit. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah, I do think you're right. There's a whole lot more money in that than keto. It's true. Yeah. Rick says, simple platform, vote for us or you're mean. Ooh, I like that. I may use that. Vote for me or you're mean. That would work. There we go. Vote for us and you're mean. That would work. I like that. Yes. Smite says, have you taken the I side with test? I think it's the most accurate test out there. And it was how I learned about Libertarian Party. I'm also curious to know where you side on specific issues. To be very forward, the problem with I side with is it's just brutal. If you're a candidate, it's hours to put in all your views. And it doesn't always link up with exactly how you think. I went through, I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. Like, just watch my show. I'm like, just watch my show. It's fine. Watch my interview on Rogan or watch my interview on Glenn Beck. Like do that. Like, yeah. And maybe I was wrong, but it was hours out of my day when I was campaigning. I'm like, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't take the hours out. And then does it really mean this or does it mean that? Because you have to put in, you have to have answers that they say. That's the problem, and doesn't work well. So yeah, it's not bad, but maybe I should do it next time. I might do it next time. Maybe I will. Piote says, Dems don't care about the base. But their base changes, right? The base of the Democratic Party now is educated women. That's their base now. It wasn't their base years ago, but it is now. And I think they take care of that base well. They take care of their current base. That's the base that gives them money, along with billionaires. And that's, yeah, I think they take care of it well. I'm not sure that's true. I feel like they know exactly who their base is, and they cater to it. I would argue they've made their base smaller and they cater directly to that base. That's what I would say. So, yeah. And says, I tell people all the time the primary is more important. They don't vote in the primary and they complain about candidates on the ballot. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Mike says voting starts with petitions, then primaries. Media makes it seem like a bad thing because they have agendas. I think that's true. But petitions depends upon the race. Some races, petitions don't have much value at all because the people who are getting petitions, they have no chance of making any impact. Depends if they have any chance of making impact, right? That's the issue. Gene says, I don't want open primaries. I want no primaries. Star voting would eliminate the need for primaries. Also true. Look, if they went down that road, I'm not fighting you, Gene. The issue is, if we're going to have political parties, which I don't want to see, but we are, then political parties have to have a way of selecting their candidate. If they want to use a primary, they may, but they should pay for it on their own, do it within their own party. If they want to do it like libertarians do via convention, libertarians pay for that ourselves. We decide how we select our own candidate. So if there are going to be political parties, they should be able to select their nominee however they want, right? Whatever, it's a private organization. Federal courts have already said so. But if they're a private organization, why the hell are we paying for them? That's my issue. Let them do whatever they want with their own money on their own time, how they see fit, and let other people on the ballot as they see fit. That's it. So, yeah. All righty. Grab a couple more of these here. That Liberty says, I think Trump and Harris should have to jump through hoops with signatures to get in the ballot, like the outrageous crap third parties would go to. There's the part that's unconstitutional, Liberty. If you're going to make me get 45,000 signatures, why doesn't everybody have to do it? Why doesn't everybody? I agree. Everybody should have. That's the issue. 100%. That is the issue. So most people don't do that. All right. Ganchin says, Elon, if you're reading this, I know you're a troll. However, I would be surprised if you start supporting candidates such as Larry Sharpe. See, even if you're a troll, you should still support me, Elon, regardless if you're joking or not. I don't care. Write me the check. Send me the truckload of money, as that guy said. Absolutely. Straight End says over on Rumble, Straight End says, don't forget to go to X and suggest Larry Sharpe for a place on the American Party's team. Let Elon know how to make a difference. Correct. Go on X. Let Elon know I'm the guy you should call. Yes, do that. Reach out. 100%. That's the right answer. 100%. Shelly says, Astoria, home of Mamdani. Yes, he is my assemblyman. He's the guy who wins 99-1. Yes, he wins 99-1. Correct. Yes. Rich says, Libertarian Party is the best in America, but the cabal won't let it be. True. Yes. True. Absolutely. All righty. Oh, is there a poll someplace? I'm not seeing there's a poll someplace. All right. Go to the poll. What's the poll? Mike says go to the poll. Listen to what Mike says. Mike says go to the poll. Go to the poll, guys. I don't know what the poll is, but do what Mike says. Go to the poll. Yes. All righty. Let's see here. There we go. Literally check says SpongeBob is important. Okay. I'm not saying SpongeBob is not important. You are correct. SpongeBob is important. Just take this quiz first, then take the SpongeBob. How about that? Do that one first. Yes. That's gonna be a better one. There we go. All righty. Yes. Shelly says, can you write in SpongeBob to the survey? I guess. Joel says, what did I miss? A heated SpongeBob. No, it wasn't a heated SpongeBob. I'm just saying, all right, you can go on like Facebook or something and do like, which SpongeBob character are you? And that's a good quiz. Take that quiz. And, or before that quiz, take on the one on the advocates. That's all I'm saying. I'm not against it, but yeah. Patty says the 6 degrees of separation theory posits that any two people in the world can be connected through a chain of acquaintances that has no more than 6 intermediaries. You and Elon are 6 people apart. We're actually a couple apart, but he's not responding. So guys, you got to help. Yes. You guys got to help. 100%. Ryan says all socialism sucks, except voluntary. Voluntary socialism is totally fine, right? If you want to join the Amish and hang out, if you want to be in your own family, you spread your money around equally, your money, your family, you do you, totally fine. As long as it's voluntary, I don't have a problem with it. Some people do very social things. Sometimes we do things like we decide that we're going to give money to a church group or a civic group and let them spend it as they see fit. They're going to go do something and we all put in money to join. It's fine as long as it's voluntary. Voluntary socialism is fine. All good. So I don't mind at all. Mike has bad knees, says true libertarianism have been tried. Also true. See that? There we go. Rich says it's being tried in Argentina right now. Not true, but close. The closest we've had in a long time. And it is working. Right? And it is working. Things are better. It's not perfect, obviously, in Argentina, and never would be, but it's clear that it is better. Absolutely. Yes. All righty. Let's see here. Missy put up the spot for the swag, zazzle.com/store/sharp_way. There we go. Yes. All righty. Paula says, don't be a mean girl. Give the LP a whirl. Sharpe for governor of New York. Oh, thank you. I'm hoping that the Libertarian Party can get that, right? I'm hoping the Libertarian Party can actually make that happen. I really am. I am concerned that we've lost so much of our party in the last couple of years in New York State. It's been so broken. I hope they can kind of recover and get back in action. I hope so. I don't know if they can be forward. I don't know. So anybody. Anyway, we keep going here. All right. Paula says, Dems care about the base. They don't care about working white and black men. Also true. Yes. Also true. Missy says, when I was Democrat, it was the party of the working class. It wasn't far left. It wasn't as woke. It's progressively gotten worse over time. I agree with you, Missy. If you go back 20, 30 years, nobody would have thought the Republican Party was the party of the working class. That wasn't a thing. That wasn't how it was. Everyone thought it was, the Democrats, they care about unions and they're all about the working class. That's what it was. That was at least the brand, if anything else. But no, that isn't true today at all. In fact, the Republican Party is having a problem. That other guy was saying how the Republican Party is more united. It's not true. It's just broken as it's always been, right? I mean, Republicans aren't a monolith. It's broken as it's always been. And it has a problem. The Republican Party traditionally has not been a working class party at all, but now it's filled with working party voters. Okay, how do you square that circle? It's not easy. Rick says, Dem base is a professional managerial class. That's true. Great point, Rick. Yes. Educated women and the PMC. That's true. You're right. And the PMC. Those two things, I agree. That's who they are. And I think they pretty much do cater to those groups. I think they do. So that's just my view. Maybe I'm wrong on this one. So, but I do think that's what they tend to do. Robert says, America built a middle class off massive government redistribution. Why isn't that ever factored into the quality of life argument when it comes to capitalism? America built a middle class off of massive government redistribution. Why isn't that ever factored into the quality of life argument when it comes to capitalism? I'm not sure where you're going with that. Capitalism was a major factor in building a middle class, heavily on the idea that American manufacturing was basically over 50% of manufacturing after World War II, which was heavily based upon exports. Heavily based upon exports. Not only, but heavily based upon it. So I feel that was the biggest issue in building our middle class more than anything else. was the success dividend after World War II. And the idea that most of Europe was bombed into oblivion and most of Asia was bombed into oblivion. So America was the manufacturing powerhouse of the world. When that goes away, I mean, yeah, I don't know. The middle class wasn't built on Social Security. It wasn't built off disability. It wasn't built off Medicaid, Medicare. It wasn't built off those things. The middle class was built in the 40s, 50s, 60s. These things all came out like in the 60s and 70s, really. It's when people started to actually use it more than anything else. I don't know where we're getting that from. If you're looking at the idea of, government helping, if you look at the Nordic countries, again, the poorer people pay more by percentage in taxes than the wealthy do because they use the services. It's closer to a usage fee. It's not exactly, but it's closer to usage fee than ours is. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm not getting that. I'm not getting it. Liberty Wednesday, tomorrow, 11 a.m. ET. I will be on Liberty Dad Podcast talking all things New York and Mom Donnie. True. Yes, if you guys can join me, please do so. I will put it up on my social media later on tonight. So yes, absolutely. Phil says the hippies had voluntary socialism. Most didn't last, but it was voluntary. Yeah, and they have in Israel too. Is it kibbutz? Is that right? You can go there if you want to. You don't want to, you don't have to. Yeah, I don't have a problem with socialism that isn't voluntary. Mike has bad knees says the problem with socialism is that it doesn't scale well. True, which is why if you want to do it locally in your own way, you want to have have co-op stores and stuff. Enjoy. I don't have a problem with it, right? Socialism that you voluntarily decide to do because you want to be part of it, good for you, man. I don't have a problem with that at all. The problem we always have is it always winds up not being voluntary. It always winds up being forced. It always winds up doing that. Yes. But if you could actually keep it to where, hey, you want to join this, you want to make this happen on your own, you enjoy. I really, again, I say all the time, I think if a lot of people will give up money for the appropriate warm, fuzzy feeling, for the appropriate social clout, for the appropriate purpose, feeling of purpose being driven. If you want to give up money for that, you should be able to. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. It's your money. Get the warm, fuzzy feeling that you want. I'm not here to judge. So Phil says, Larry was going to Andrew Wilco. Thank you. I go on Salem every once in a while. I went in there a lot when RFK Jr. was running, and now they still bring me on every once in a while. So I wound up going on Salem here or there. So yeah, that's true. Super Weapon says, if people have an issue with their misunderstanding of free market enterprise / capitalism, they need to educate themselves on the problems of mercantilism, which capitalism was fighting against. Also true. But look, I hear people all the time say things like, the government, is the thing that gave us the middle class. The government passed laws, minimum wage laws and stuff like that. This is true. The government did pass those laws, but minimum wage came before the government did it. So did the 40-hour work week. That was all business did that as a way to retain talent. Business did it as a way to keep people happy. That wasn't done by government copied afterwards. If you just do a simple Google search will show you this. There were multiple companies that had already installed a 40-hour work week before the government decided it was a law. It was already being done. Capitalism was creating a 40-hour work. I'm not making this up. Just Google search. Capitalism created the 40-hour work week. Capitalism did this, not the government. Capitalism made minimum wage. Why? As a way to draw in talent, because they desperately needed workers. Yes, there's no workers in. So that's why they did it. In fact, there were certain companies that had a 36-hour work week, a 30-hour work week to see if that would work, 12 hours for 3 days. They did a bunch of these things back and forth, and then they settled on 40 hours. And once that happened, 40 hours, 8 hours a day. Once that got into play, then the government then said, oh, it codified it. The government forced it. Unions. Government was anti-union. Soldiers, I'm not joking, the army would go in and break up and shoot unionizers. Again, simple Google search will show you this. The government was against unions. Against it. Eventually, unions became what they should have become. And I'm not against unions at all. But then the government then decided to back unions and make them monopolies. And that's what wrecked unions, making them monopolies. Unions should exist like anything else in capitalist society. Labor has its place. It should fight as anything else and compete as everything else should be, of course. So, yes. Phil says, many LPNY old guard retired or passed away, RIP. True. Many passed away. Many left because it became so toxic. That's a hard part about what happened in New York State also. So I'm hoping we can bring it back. Phil, we'll see. We will see. I hope we can. Look, when I travel, I still meet a lot of LP, NY. I still meet a lot. I don't mean as many. I think a lot of them are broken up. It's true. I wish not so many, but yeah, it's a big deal. So maybe we can. Here's the advantage. Here's the advantage. If we do this well in New York State, we'll bring them back because they'll see success. That's the issue. If they see success, we'll be able to bring it back. That's what I'm hoping we'll do. Guys, I'm going to ask you one last time, if you could, please click the button known as like. It does matter. Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. Every time you click that button, it lets Mr. Rhythm, Al, go rhythm. He loves it. He loves it so much. If you share it, he loves it too. He loves when you share it. Because you click that like button. He truly loves that. Absolutely. Remember, tomorrow's show is going to be on Civil only. Civil.com, 7 p.m. CIVL.com. We'll only be on Civil tomorrow's show. Thursday, I'll be back here, open for everybody, hanging out, whatever you like. Friday will be the panel show, July 11th at 8 p.m. Again, if I reached out to you, please respond. Let me know that you are going to be coming on. I would appreciate it when you have time to do that. Remember, the algo also loves if after the show, you put a comment down. And here's what I want you to put in a comment. What do you think about the America Party? Please tell me, what do you think about the America Party? Please put that in the comments after this is over. Remember, if you watch this not live, you're going to see two videos pop up right here. When they pop up, please click on one of them and watch for at least 8 minutes. The algo loves that too. I will see you all very soon.